I'm live. So I don't see any viewers yet, but I decided to come in a little early today just to test everything out and make sure that it would all work okay. And let's see. I am live on Facebook and live on YouTube. It's working. Let's see. We will just give it a few minutes and be back at 9 o'clock when we're scheduled to go live for Reels. So see you guys in a few minutes. And we're back. Welcome to the very first Live with Liz. Every Wednesday, I am going to hop online just for about 15 minutes to talk about things related to business development and marketing for law firms and your IP practice or your other practices. And this is just one of those newer ways of engaging with people and tackling some of those subjects that we talk about anyway in the absence of our in-person conferences and business meetings. This live stream thing seemed kind of fun. So grab a coffee, join me, ask me any questions that are on your mind related to those subjects or not. And we did get a couple of questions ahead of time, so thank you to the people who sent those in. We thought the first topic to tackle would be video conferencing and virtual events. That is because obviously we can't meet in person and we're live streaming, so it seemed to fit pretty well. And there are a lot of questions right now about virtual conferences and virtual events. The first question I got, and that I've gotten actually repeatedly over the last few weeks, is, are they worth it? And the answer is the most frustrating answer that I think lawyers tend to give to clients. I am not a lawyer, but the answer is still, it depends. So what makes a virtual conference worth it? Well, if you're somebody, for example, who needs CLE credit, it might be an easy answer. You can attend a virtual conference and get all of the CLE credit you need. What is CLE? Continuing Legal Education. Thanks for asking. And it's a way to economically take advantage of content that is relevant to your practice, and it might make that registration fee actually seem cheap, affordable, accessible, and it might just be an easy yes for you if that's something that you need. If you don't need something like that and you're just looking for virtual, hey Mariana, hey Leah, nice to see you guys, and you're just looking for an outlet, you're maybe looking for networking experiences, or you're just trying to engage with people and connect, those virtual conferences can also be an opportunity to do that. But there are a lot of differences in the platforms that people are offering, the participation, the content, the information available. And so these are the things that we're considering when deciding whether or not a virtual conference makes sense. If it's valuable for you, if it's valuable for your firm, what opportunities exist, what are you trying to get out of it? So a lot of the organizations professionally in the legal space are offering virtual events in lieu of their traditional meetings. Some of them obviously were forced into it fairly early. The advantage there is that they've had that learning curve to be able to offer something hopefully a bit more robust and relevant later on. And we're seeing that the planning is getting better, the platforms are getting better, and the opportunities that are out there, still a bit unknown. So a couple of weeks ago, I ran a LinkedIn poll and almost 200 people responded. The question I posed was, are you going to participate in the INTA annual leadership meeting that's all virtual in the fall? And this was obviously before registration opened and before they released a lot of information about it, so maybe a bit premature. But with 200 respondents, the overwhelming majority said, no, it's not worth it. 66% in fact said it lacks value or it's too costly to participate. That's a shame, but it's the reality that we're facing. These are expensive registrations. They are unknown benefits that they're offering. The platform was still a mystery. Another 24% of respondents said, well, maybe I'm still considering it. I actually was in that boat too. That was my response. And then about 5 or 6% said, yes, definitely wouldn't miss it, probably INTA employees. And then there were another 5 or 6% who said, it's a leadership obligation. I feel like I need to be there. And that makes sense too. So AIPOA just today announced that they're going virtual. And of course, the INTA meeting, we've known that that's going to be virtual actually for a bit longer. This week, I had the chance to sit down with a representative of INTA who shared the ins and outs of what they're planning for the annual meeting. And I have to say, I am impressed. And if there is a platform that I was looking to participate in that offered some of those virtual networking opportunities as well as the mix of content that you would expect from these events, that is the one that I would probably gravitate toward for a lot of reasons. if you are already someone who is committed to an organization and part of its leadership, like AIPLA, they also have this advantage of offering a virtual event in the spring and learned a lot in the process. So that announcement today, it seems like it's short on time, but they have the benefit of the wisdom of their prior experience with the spring event. One of the things that I love about what AIPLA offers is that you don't have to take all or nothing. They, at least in the spring event, offered the opportunity for you to be able to go ahead and just pick and choose different sessions based on your availability, and then you didn't have to spend so much money on a full event that you couldn't possibly take advantage of the entire content offering that they had. With INTA, you do have to pay for the entire event, and you do have to pay the registration fee if you're part of leadership, as well as if you want to attend the annual meeting, but it's a reduced fee. And there are no extra charges for the extra content that they're offering in terms of those networking experiences that you would, like for the regular in-person events, expect to pay more money for. IPO is offering a series in September, and some are being spread out over a series of weeks or even an entire month. And there are some other types of virtual events, not just conferences, that we're starting to see crop up. So a few weeks ago, within a day of each other, the LSPN announced, that's the Life Science Patent Network, announced that they were going to be a virtual network. They offer 2 events, one in the spring. Hi, thanks for joining me. I don't know your name, but thank you anyway. They're offering 2 events, usually in person, one in Boston, one in San Francisco, all related to life sciences. These are more intimate events usually, but high caliber content, definitely qualified speakers sharing information related to the life sciences where you do get a chance to interact with people. The network idea is something that's extending that possibility throughout the year, but it does feel like a more traditional network that already existed, something like international referral, or maybe like Mundi has some things that they would offer, something similar to an actual network. So that's new from the Life Sciences Patent Network. And then, like I said, within a day of that offering coming out, IPBC Connect also announced that they were coming out as well as a virtual event. And IPBC is not just your regular conference where it takes place over a couple of days. They have the whole month of September slated to have different types of content offerings. So pretty exciting things are happening with different platforms, but some of them may not have the value that you're looking for. When I'm looking at the different events that are being put together, I definitely see some disparity in the value. Part of that is based on the platform that they're using. So INTA has invested in this really cool platform for the fall where it looks almost like a video game and you have a lot of interactivity, but you enter into this space that says welcome. It's almost like a conference lobby or you're entering an exhibit hall. They actually have a virtual exhibit hall where you can go up and interact with people who are sharing information about the software that they're offering or their firm or company services like they would in a traditional exhibit hall. They're also offering this networking space where for the first time, one-on-one partnering is going to be something you can opt into with INTA. This is not something that I have seen in the past with them, but something I've been impressed with from other organizations. The one that comes to mind is BIO. And guys, if you have any questions, just shoot them out. It doesn't have to be necessarily about INTA or BIO, but let me know. The one question that came in yesterday was about the virtual networking and how is it done? And this came from Maria Elena, thank you, from Boleta Terrero in Venezuela, shout out. And she asked, well, how is this virtual networking done? So there are a couple of different ways. One is like ABA has the virtual happy hour with this kind of loungy virtual space where you can just kind of click on a table and join a conversation or head over to a sofa and join another conversation. You see the little chat bubble and you can just talk to strangers that way. Fun, better with a cocktail in hand maybe. A little unusual if you're used to the in-person thing, but definitely more engaging than just a Zoom video conference with somebody you already know and scheduled. And then, like I said, this one-on-one offering that INTA has just announced for the fall, and that is something that we've seen with partnering from other organizations like BIO in the past in person. What does that look like? So you opt in and then you can request to meet people, and if they agree to meet with you, both starting from the premise that you're willing to have meetings with people to connect and to network and to engage with people you don't necessarily know. I suggest when you're doing that to try and make it valuable for both people. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to sell you my services and you're going to love my firm and this is everything we do. Actually, be interested in what the other person has to offer and make sure that you have something relevant and valuable to discuss at these one-on-one meetings. And don't take it personally if people say no. So go ahead and give it a shot, ask people for the meetings, participate, be willing to have those conversations, and hopefully that will benefit you in the end. And then, you know, for some other networking experiences other than the virtual happy hour and the one-on-one, IMTA is kind of the king when it comes to speed networking. And they do these in person at their annual meetings, but early on, they started this, hey, Sharon, nice to see you. They early on started this speed networking, and I'm going to give a shout out to Stacy Sutton because I participated in a couple of these, and they are a blast. They're fun, they're quick, witty. You have a maximum of 12 people in a Zoom-style video conferencing room, but it gives you a chance to meet people you otherwise would not meet. You get to sign up at a time that's convenient for you, and then just have quick conversations to introduce each other. And I have found that there's follow-up afterward, there's engagement, and it's interesting. So it's something different. It doesn't take too much time. Lots of fun there. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with INTA in the fall. I hope that I get the chance to exhibit and participate more fully. And if there are other platforms out there that are coming up, if you just follow me on Firm Forward at LinkedIn or on YouTube or really wherever I'm just sharing information on these virtual conferences, you'll see a lot of different options available. Now, I will say there are still a lot of unknowns when it comes to what you're investing in. And if you're someone who is, you know, just incredibly affected by the pandemic and you're crunched for the cash flow and time is not something you have in abundance right now, and the conferencing is not for you, that's okay. That's a decision you have to make. That doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of other ways to interact and engage with people. You can hop on LinkedIn. You can join me here on Live with Liz. We can connect in other ways. And if people need support out there, if you need a wellness check, don't be shy, don't be quiet, let people know. And, you know, we're here to support each other and to bring business to each other as well in a time when we can't just get together and, you know, ooh, virtual hug, that's good. It's just what you make of it. And so I'm excited to be able to do Live with Liz every week and to talk about things like this, virtual conferencing, and other types of things that we're going to look at include social media, communications, webinars. We'll talk about business development in general. We'll talk about analytics and software, legal tech, anything related to business development and marketing that's on your mind is not off limits. We've got everything we want to talk about available to us. And just to spend a few minutes doing something a little bit different, you know, not just this webinar with a boring presentation or an interesting one. You know, we're just doing something a little bit more lively and spirited so that we can really just make the most of things. So my 15 minutes are almost up for Wednesday, my first Live with Liz. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to see how many people are here and also a little nervous to see how I can bungle this, mess it up with my multicasting for the first time. But, you know, as the weeks go by, I'm sure we'll get better at doing this and we'll all learn from each other. Maybe everyone else will jump on board with me. We can have some interview style things going on and just check in, see how everybody's doing, and wishing everybody success in their business development and marketing of your legal practice or whatever your business is. No, don't be shy, just reach out and connect with me anywhere here, YouTube. Sorry, this is not live on Instagram. Instagram doesn't allow third-party streaming, which I know is a little confusing, but here we are, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and when LinkedIn decides that I'm worthy of streaming live there, hopefully we'll have another platform too. Oh, thanks, Mariana. Thanks, Rachel. It's really great to see you ladies. I really appreciate your support. And I'm looking forward actually to seeing you guys soon at the next Women in IP Today's that time of the month. And we can talk about things like that too. So thanks, everybody. And, oh, Ahu, that's good to know. Good to see you. So take care. Have a great rest of your week, and see you next Wednesday at Live with Liz. Bye, everybody.